It's just a quick video showing how to get a bush out of a blind hole, namely the gearbox bush out the back of a Nissan RB engine. Now, as you can probably tell, I've already started this before I started the video, just to essentially make sure it was going to work. But what we're essentially trying to do is get this slightly smaller diameter out here. That's a bush for where the gearbox shaft goes into the back of the engine. So as I'm in the process of replacing the clutch and I'm doing the rear seal as well at the same time, it just makes sense to chop that out as well, seeing as it's what, £7 or £8 to do. But because it's a bush in a blind hole, how do you get it out? Now, you could potentially do this with a set of very small pullers with very small fingers, because it's not pushed all the way into the depths of the bore in here, if you've got a tool small enough to do that. The other opportunity or alternative here is to use the hydraulic method, which all you need is some grease, and depending specifically on the engine you're running, I mean, again, this is a Nissan RB26 engine. The internal diameter in here is 16mm, so get yourself a piece of ground silver steel, the same diameter. This is 16mm for reference, again, the Nissan RB engine. And just to make your life a tiny bit easier, just get some syringes, fill that up with grease, as so, instead of trying to stuff it into the hole, and then of course squeeze that into the actual hole. Leave yourself, as you can see, there's a few millimeters worth of depth there, just to give you a little bit of purchase with your steel bar, instead of it going absolutely everywhere initially. It probably will go everywhere once I've finished this. So, with the grease in there, now I'll be honest, that bush has already slightly moved. It's normally about another 3 or 4 millimeters deeper into the actual shaft, into the bore, sorry. So let's put that silver steel bar back in. You can sort of, there's a little bit of air in there, there's a bit of resistance against the bar, and just using the copper hide mallet, I'm just going to tap that on the end, and what you get, or should get, see if you can see that coming out, just tap it gently. That's a little bit difficult because I'm only working one-handed now because I've got the phone in my hands. Try that again with a bit more swing on the actual mallet. So there you can see, on every tap, the bush is starting to move. And what's happening there, the steel bar is pushing the grease down, and of course that energy and that force has got to go somewhere, so the grease pushes down through the centre of the bore and then onto the back of the bush, onto the equivalent surface on the other side, and the force pushes the bush back in the other direction. Now, this is a little trick that's been used on this sort of thing for many years. There we go. Oops. Catch that before it hits me in the face. Of course you can see all the grease is squeezed through, and what actually happened is the bush is now there. So the force managed to fire that pretty much halfway in the length of the thing. Fortunately I didn't get a massive face full of grease, but I'll pull that out now. There you go. That's now remove that bush with absolutely zero damage to any of the other metallic components. So I'll now purchase a new bush and clean all the grease out of there, of course, although a little slither might help just to put the new one home, but that's essentially how you hydraulic a bush out of a blind hole.